Quant VTF here, T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion show, and we got a lot of interesting alternatives that could play out here. So it's important to remember we're starting off a new month, and yeah, here's the SPY 1 minute from the end of the day. So anybody who is not down with broadening formations as yet, here you go: higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, with the 222 continuation, one dumper into the close. So yeah, so if you're new to this, I'm going to post a link to a webinar tomorrow so you can understand all this stuff. But if you don't know that this is how things trade, you have to know this. All right, so we'll get to that. Anyway, what do we have here? We're starting off a new month. Right, and so we're still inside quarter for the SPY, and almost everything. I did the macro video last weekend and talk about, almost everything looks similar in the futures and of being like inside quarter, unless we can take that out or that out. We're closer to going to the upside, but now we start a new month, slightly red, and we got to finally what a reversal would look like, right? So we know this on the weekly. Had the 2-2 reversal, then 2, then 2, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 2, then 2, then 2, then 2. Now we got an outsider. So the question is, can we get back outside of last week's lows, right? That's something you'd want to know about if we're really going down, right? So we started off the week with an outside day, inside day. So as volatility's been very low, and we know that, and that's why the good thing is earnings season, we've been staying on the gap list every morning. And so now if we shrink this down, not only is shrink down a little bit less. Not only is the outside bar from yesterday a broadening formation in itself, which I'll get to in a second, but because this volatility has been so low, now you can see it goes like this. Here's your lows, and here's your highs. Here's your most recent broadening formation like that. Let me shrink that down a little bit more. Here, right? So we got to not only break this inside day, then we got to get outside of this, and then we got to stay out, all right, as far as the futures are concerned. And so if you go to the 60, it was beautiful because we know this exists, this phenomenon exists. And so anytime we gap into the highs like we did, all right, here, the slight higher high, right out the chute, what did we have yesterday? Yesterday, if you're trading the S&P and you don't know this, you didn't get this, right? We did because we know this stuff, and hopefully because you're listening, now you do too. 2 to the upside into recent highs. It's got to hold. It's also the first day of the week, which means you've got the weekly, daily, and 60-minute time frame continuity dominating. Boom, 2-2 reversal, rips back through the range, then off the lows, the 2-2 reversal off the hammer, back up, right? And so at that point, then we know to expect chop of inside day. So you can get this, and it doesn't make a lower low until here, and that doesn't even matter because it's going into there. But you catch all of this, you catch all of that, and that's pretty much the meat of the move. So we got to get out of there. We know that. So what we'll look for, or at least to start off, is we want to look at how many things are taking out last month's highs, week's highs, last month's lows, and last week's lows, right? And if there's a concentration of that. Right now it's very divergent, but what we'll see is that there'll be some concentrations by sector. And so what that does is that helps us know that if the market starts going one way, here's the guys that are in trouble on that side. If it starts going to the upside, here's the guys who are already breaking to the upside. So let's get to it. On the weeklies, here, and there's going to be some gappers that we want to know about, so that's why we go through them all. CRM on the earnings to the downside, so you see that weekly takes that out, right? So that's a 2 to the downside. Now it's taking a bunch of this stuff out. It's a matter of follow through, and then it's a matter of, because we know 3s exist, is going to be weak enough to take this out and go outside month. So we'd look for more continuations on that. Citicorp, tight range here stuff, so we're aware of that, but it is slightly below the week, but you can see how tight this range is, obviously, with the banks. Sienna today goes outside week in one shot, and that was gorgeous here. Just boom, right? And then if you miss this, it comes back up, right? 2 inside reversal, and then there's your inside reversal back into the dumper, all right? So on that, once again, it's going to be weak enough to go 3 on the month. We can continue to watch that kind of stuff because it's a big outside day. If we go to Halliburton, and we got an oil number coming in the morning. Halliburton, slightly taking last week's lows, real tight ranges on here, and so we would see if the oil patch and OIH come down to see if it's weak enough to take this out. Rev Strat Monther. Devon Energy, so we know that there's some energies in play here. nowhere near taking out last month's lows, and a tight inside weak here. Even though it takes that out, we'd be a little hesitant on there. Aon gets slammed today to go 2 on the week down here, and so you can see this here potentially gives you the 2 back into this thing down into here. So below these lows gets my attention if it stays down there. TWLO, once again, potential for the 3-month as it goes outside weak. So then it's got to stay outside of here. Otherwise, we try and go back in because this is broadening formation. Go to Netflix. Netflix has been real tight here too, but it does take that week down. As of now, nowhere near taking out the month. So we'd have to get a lot closer to that to pay attention to that. Dish. And Dish, potential 3-month. It's not near there, but it did take out those highs. And then do this, outside weaker. So it needs to stay below that to keep going. And here you can see it was caused by the daily to 2 reversal and back through pivot machine gun range. So now the broadening formation looks like this. And that's why it needs to stay out of there. Otherwise, these things can come right back through. Symantec. This has been a multi-bar pattern for a while here. And you can see this weekly. Here, this was a gap, and you can see all of this stuck in here. Now it's inside weak to the downside. And so on that gap, here, if you look at the daily, you can see this. Here, can we get back into this? Because if we can, finally, that would be a 2-2 month to the downside below that. XPO, transport. And so here, you see these 3 months stuck in here, all right, and trying to get out of that. And on the weekly, all this stuff stuck in here. So we know that when you get stuck in a mother bar like this, you can expect an internal broadening formation, the new price discovery starting. So we're getting that. So it needs to stay down here. Otherwise, it can come rip right back through all this stuff. So right now, though, lower through the week. W day and some of the high flyers got hit right out the chute. And you can see this. And this was not quite a 3, I believe. 13. Yes. Outside 3-2 week right there. Boom. And we took that. And that caused the outside month. So it's already an outside month. And now inside day. So you can see how triangles look like this. Here. And then you stop them all out. Now the question is, you're going to be weak enough to continue this, or you're going to start marching back up in there. Inside day, W day. McDonald's. And McDonald's, inside day, tight triangle like this, you can see. Like so. And so that does take out 2-2 reversal weak, just tight ranger, so it needs to keep going. Splunk, remember them high flyer techers? Boom, 2-2 weak to the downside, potential 3 on the month. Here, got a little bit more to take that out. Not quite an inside day. So you see there's your 3-2 day, slight lower low, so it needs to keep going, otherwise potential try back up through there. Lennar, home builder. Home builder takes the inside day down. And the weekly is trying to take this thing down here and potentially on the month go after this. So we'd be looking for setups to take this out 45, 46. Cardinal Health, we know some of the health cares have been having some issues. Still got some room to take this month out. You see this was an inside month. 1, 2, 2. This would be rev strat below that if you can take it out. Right now, here is your 2-2 reversal, and it's still going. So we'll see if we can get the continuation patterns through there. Good tires. 2-2 shooter weak to the downside. Still handily inside of the month, but we'll see what comes of that. LRCX. This was in the halftime show today. Still inside month. Weekly taking that out. And the way it did that was this. And this is what you look for. Here's your 1, 2, 2. And then the shooter back through the range. Boom. Take these guys out. So still pretty tight for that. We'll see if anything more comes of that. Obviously, we can watch that with the NASDAQ and chips. Triple M Dow Jones. Weekly. There's your 1, 3, 2 down. So you get to try to expand this down here. You got plenty of room on the monthly, so it's still handily inside of the month, so we'll see what comes of that. Autodesk, more of the high flyers. Potential 3-month, looking for continuations to take this out if we keep getting hit. The weekly, there's your 3-2. Yep, 3-2 to the downside, back through the previous range. Broadening formation, like so. inside day if they want to take care of business. End tap, end tap, outside inside day. A little bit tighter of a range on this weekly, but you can see this 1, 2, 2, and trying to come back through here. All three inside of here, so pretty tight range for end tap, at least right now. We'll see what it would be nice if we get this 3, 1, 2 and get slamming through here, but we'll see about that. Raytheon, aerospace defense, inside day, and handily still an inside month, albeit red, but you do take the weekly back down below here, so you can watch that with other aerospace defense. Marsh and McLennan, so with the Aon, with the insurers, there's your outside week already, which sets up potential 3 month if they can take that out. Outside day, so as long as you stay outside of that outside day, you're good on the downside. If we come back up, you can try and go right back up. Goldman Sachs tight. It's still very tight in here because whenever you have something like this, doji inside month, and we're still like that, these triangles are going to be real tight and can really cut you up bad. All right, look at this. This is a nightmare. So you want to be very careful on something like that. More often than not, you want to let it really go or set up to come back through that range somehow. Okta weekly, inside week of down, 3 on the month. Already pokes down here, so we want to look for setups that would retake this 78.76. Otherwise, you got this on the daily. Triangles them out, comes back inside hammer, and they can walk right back up through all this stuff. So we'll see if we can get that thing going. LITE, handily inside month, that's an issue. As you can see, this, all 4 of these months are stuck in there. But to start the week, you do have the slight higher high and come back through if we want to start working on all this stuff. LITE. LVS. Still handling inside month, but we could do it. It just sets up towards here, and that would be 57.46 if you get anywhere near there. Starting off as an inside day, so either tighter, try and just bring it right back up. Hopefully we get these bigger stuff like this. CME on the weekly takes it out, so you got your 2 down, your 2 up, and your 2 back down. It's been a real walker like this, but we'll see if we can get this to accelerate. Still got some room before not being inside month, so we'll see if we can take that out. Still walking down the lower high. CME, DXC. Now this would be interesting here. If we can get the monthly rev strat back through here, that would kick in below 63.49. On the weekly, you're very slight. You're 3 weeks inside of here. So you'd want to get out, take this out and that, and stay through this. John Deere. And John Deere, very nice rev strat 60 today. Right here, inside 1, 2, 2. See you later. Closing is an outside 60. On the weekly, coming off the highs here, and you're back into this thing. Right, so long as it's below here, that gets my attention below 162.34. The daily try looking something like this here. It's a little tight, but see if we can get that thing going. URI, still inside month, so you get some room to take that. There's your slight higher high. On the weekly, you do this. 2 up, 2 down. Now just come to take in here and see if we can get more of this. So as long as it stays below 133.42 for the rest of the week, we can keep that on the hit list as well. Win resorts with the LVS. Trying to go 3-2 weaker down. It's very slight. We got the slight inside day down walking in. Here's something like this. These. If we can get this going through here, potentially trigger the month here, and that would be below 119.25. 5 and still handily inside month and inside week to the downside, still stuck in here. Here's your 3-1, so we got to get outside of this here and then stay out to really get this thing moving. EXAS, and this 3-2, 2, and so this is your broadening formation right here. This, try and get back into that, and that's going to look like this on the daily, like so. like here. And if we can get it down to there, then we can start talking. You got some distance, and then you can start talking to these guys for the 2-2 monthly reversal before below 80.78. Norfolk Southern in the trannies, handily inside month as of now. Weekly, slightly coming back down. There's your slight higher high, and now you're coming down here. We want to try and see if we can come after this gap here. So we need some more confirmation on that. You can watch that with trannies. TTD ripper. So once you get gunned up into here, real hard time not being inside month without going to the highs, right? We know that. The best hope here would be this inside day to try and come into the gap, but tight triangle business up in here might just stay jammed up there as shorts continue to unwind there. Oops. ANET. When outside day to the downside very slightly here, and what makes that important, albeit this triangle's tight, is now you got an outside weaker, right? Now, no way in hell, really, are you going to be an outside month unless there's a real disaster. But we can get a 3-2 week next week, and we'll see if that continues as well. UTHR in the bio. Easily potential 3 month. You're almost there. And gave them the business on this. Here, the 2-2 week. Pow. Now see if we can come through all of this stuff. Really nail them. And you can see how this was really nice yesterday. The 2 up on a Friday, coming in Monday, and take her down. Data. And data on the week, the 2 up, the 2 down, just coming back into this kind of a series here. So I'd really like to get this thing moving a little bit more monthly, get closer to that monthly reversal down into here. That would be below 118.69. Play. Play 2 month inside pattern. Tough to get out of here. You did do this though on the weekly here. The 2 up, the 2 down. Now see if we can finish all these guys off and get some more continuation off of that. CVS. This thing, whew, the 3-2. This is why we like the 3-2. 3-2-2. This thing's still getting destroyed. Monthly, still 3-2 down, and you can see here, right here. The inside day, puke. The inside day, puke. You just got exhaustion risk as you're going into the lows. Similar as Walgreens. Walgreens is the RevStrat monther. Here, 1, 2, 2. So you're out of that. That's still good. Just some exhaustion risk going into some recent lows. Letter I. RevStrat monther. It's done its job. So when I say it's done its job, it's like when you take that out, we're looking to take that and that. If we get more of this, that's a bonus. So we look for more continuations. And the weekly did this. The 3-2-2. So there's the sub try that we wanted to go through when we took this out. We did that. We obliterated all this stuff. And now, how are you not going to be inside day tomorrow? All right. So oftentimes, like I said, there's some exhaustion on that. Might have to reset up, get yourself another inside days or a setup within there to take out the lows. CTL. And CTL, inside day, below last month's lows and week's lows. You're just going into some new lows, so you don't have any triangle magnitude. But down is down. The healthcare having the issues, Humana. Humana, below last week's lows. And inside month and down just still hasn't taken this out. So the question here for tomorrow is we're going to see a bunch of these things. What's the next 2? Does it triangle back up on this outside bar? Does it get the continuations a la UNH and Cigna? That was in the nightly video. Tesla. Tesla gives us the here. The 2 reversal. 2 continuation, 2 continuation. Monthly, inside month and down. It's taken these out, so the question is going to be weak enough to come after that. Weekly goes 3-2. And 60 comes up and then triangles them out at the end of the day. So here's your bottom pick reversal, 2-1-2, 2-2-2, 2-2 reversal to reverse short. Long, short. Make more than this thing moves. Airlines having some problems here to start off the week, and you've got on the monthly, you've got Alaska Air going 2-2 down. All right, 2 up, 2 down. You've got American Airlines doing the same. United, JetBlue. This is all a lot of this stuff from the weekend vid as well. HA joining that party in the airlines. So we can keep an eye on those things if they start tanking. MPC Refiner, 2 up, 2 down on the month, below 61.22. DVA, this is RevStrat month. Now it's all completely within this month's range here, but you're below last week's lows, and you got the last month's lows out, so we definitely can continue to look for stuff on the downside. DVA, Weyerhaeuser, RevStrat month or below here, 24.87, and you're there right now. Obviously, you can watch that with the home builders. Toll Brothers, home builder, 2-2 back down on the month. McKesson, shooter back down here, so below 122.46. TripAdvisor, and TripAdvisor slightly here on that 2 month, and now 2. So we'll see if that can continue. So anything below 52.47, we can look for the setups on that. JB Hunt and the Trucker, shooter, counters 2. Shooter down month below 105.88. General Dynamics, we already had Raytheon, but General Dynamics, very slightly multi-month pattern, but below this still gets our attention. Nectar. And Nectar, tight triangle business in here, but month 40, below 40, still going, and you see this here, inside day stuff we got to get out of. So ideally, when you see this, you'd want like a 2 to the upside, and then the 2-2 reversal to come back through this stuff to go re-trigger that. SPG REIT. And inside day, monthly, 1, 2, 2, below 176.60. You're there, and you got an inside day to reconfirm and negate that tomorrow. 5, FIVE. And 5 does this. Monthly shooter below 118.87. Weekly still makes the lower low. The question is this going to be a higher level try? Can it come back through here or continue this move in the greater? So when I say the greater, and this one, you can see this, and you'll see this broadening formation right here. Then you're going to see this, and you're going to see this, how it lines up. So when you hear me say upper level, this is the upper level. This is the greater try. It's going to hold, come through, or we prefer the but we'll see. All right, for the good guys on the upside, you got the Facebooks trying to come through here, and this is going to take out 172.47, which in turn might take this month out. You can see this greater try here, and then trying to use this as a measured move to come all the way back through. Bristol Myers, taking out last month's highs, so triangle them out, lower low, and coming back through here. So you'd want to come back through and at least take this out here. 54.81, you're almost there. Target, gapper, but takes the monthly highs out. So Momo Hammer monthly, up trying to walk all this stuff up. And on the daily, you get this, the Momo Hammer, here to see if we can finally get outside of this garbage. Cron. And Cron does this. Cron would still be inside month. But you got the weekly. 2 up, 2 down. You're still inside this mother bar. You want to get out of here. Now that you're above this, you need to stay above 22.96. Some oil number coming. You got a little guy's rig. Trying to take that weekly RevStrat there with Diamond Offshore. Here, 222. Exxon. Above last week's highs, above last month's highs. All right, so coming up on the greater try on the big weekly, per the weekend video, you'll see this. Like so. KSS on today's move. Monthly, inside month to the upside, and above last week's highs. So we'll see if we can stay above here and get back up into all these guys, up into here. MRO. So very slightly some weeklies on some of these oils with an oil number coming. And crude doing this itself. Still inside week, 2-day inside pattern. So we're looking to get outside of this. Outside and then inside, looking to get out of there. Tight range in this here. I'll draw that. Chevron. Chevron, daily Momo hammer after the 222 up. Monthly takes out last month's highs. Weekly, marching back up in the greater try, waiting for the number tomorrow. Johnny John Dow Jones. Still slowly marching up the weekly and the monthly, making higher highs. Dominion in the Utes, and we've been watching this for a while because of this weekly try. Here, right? So see if that stays above there to go shooting after these highs. Ed, a little boring, but higher than last week's highs, and it's just some Utes. So Utes still hanging around. Noble, more energy. 2 up, 2 down there. Still would need this to get out the monthly, and so some of these oils are really tight, so just be careful on that. Amazon takes the month, and so still this thing is the issue, getting out of this, right? 2-month inside pattern, so when it gets up here, it's got to stay up here, otherwise we just get another triangle and stuff like that. So we'll see on the daily, does this inside day to try and come out after these guys after triangling out. Harley, multi-month pattern, trying to get out of this here, but you're above that, so as long as you can stay there. Overstock, still inside month, but green. The weekly, shooter, hammer, up. 222 above 2189 is the number that we're looking at there to stay above that. Stay, triangles them out. Lower low, take all these guys out. Now coming back through all this stuff, bright green on the month here, so let's see if they can keep that up. PLNT, nice moving monthly, just grinding higher, and that gives you some exhaustion risk, but you're 3-2 to the upside, outside up into the week. Google above last week's highs and above last month's highs. Here so far, see if we can triangle them out. Now see if we can start gunning towards the highs. American Tower takes out last month's highs, exhaustion risk, you're going into the highs. Call this little Momo hammer, going into the highs, and of course you can watch that with CCI and S back. SBGI, 3-2 week to the upside, and taking out last month's highs now, coming after this stuff. Crispy, more bio, trying to take out the month highs. And you got an inside day to keep going, otherwise the triangle's back through here. So we'll see if that can get that going. ICPT, stuck in all here, right? So trying to march its way back up. Handily an inside month, unless you can get out of there. So you always want to be aware of that. And weekly, just slight inside weaken up. We'll see if that can, watch that with the bot, if it can stay above there. ALNY. Here's this, taking out last week's highs. Inside month to the upside. And just kind of dojied out with the news this afternoon. So we'll see if it stays up there. Otherwise, it's shooter counters hammer and bring it right back through. PSA REIT. And that took the 2-day pattern up a little bit. So still a little tight in there, but it is taking out last week's highs and last month, trying to take this thing out. OLED. And OLED above last month's highs after trying to get out down into here. In the weekly, you just got exhaustion risk. You're going into new recent highs. If you go to Haynes Celestial, talk about coming off the lows here. There's your triangle out. Right there. Now, can I keep walking up this stuff right now? Hain going 3-2 here on the monther. It's hammer to try and get back up into this stuff. Cirrus Logic, slightly above last month's highs, slightly above last week. So the question is going to be strong enough to come after this or drop back through here, because you had an outside week that would triangle back through, so you'd want to watch a change in continuity as well as back into that level. Lily, outside inside day, it's still slightly above last month's highs. Abbott Labs, so you can watch the druggies together doing about the same thing here. The outside inside day. Intel. Intel just slightly above last month's highs. PNC Bank ever so slightly trying to take this mother bar thing here, using these two guys to get out of there. We'll see. If you look at the daily, you're going to see this. 3 and back into the 3 for the potential 322 to complete the compound 3. Should go into the highs tomorrow. Roku. Inside day grinder, but the big old weekly try is still working this thing. And above last month's highs, this thing. Do we know about that? We sure did. Costco on the month. Slightly taking that out, stuck in this giant mother bar would be the issue. AABA, just slightly above the month, not doing too much. Baker Hughes with the energies. Remember, this thing's been marching up a little bit here. You are taking out last week's high or last month's highs and go inside day in front of the number. Tandem, inside day and on the gapper is just above last month's high, so we'll see potential inside week. You want to be aware of that. Carvana CVNA, and that does this on the month here. There's your 1-2 reversal, 2-1-2 inside. Now you're still trying to march up that. This is a nice rev strat day here. Inside, down 2-1-2, bam. And Melly. So Melly just went inside day and just kind of gapped up in here and sits. So you want to be careful. Exhaustion risk. It's just above last month's highs. So, yeah, so we got a lot of things that go either way. Going to watch this inside day with the outside day. Can we get out of that? And then, because so many things are outside week, we could go outside then inside week next week. We could go, 3-2 on either side of that. And so as these things keep going and stuff like that, all these things I just showed you are either going to reconfirm or negate what the bigger tries or the smaller ones. And we're going to keep an eye on that. And that's what the wheels in motion is all about, because they're always in a motion. Well, unless the VIX is way too low. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith, the Black Quantity VTF here with the Wheels in Motion show.